Hello, hello, hello. How's it going? I am here to bring you a new movie review. Um, this one is called Insidious, The Red Door. This is the fifth movie in this installment, or whatever you want to call it. This one is a PG-13, which kind of, I was a little disappointed. I think they should have made it rated R, but whatever. This one got a 38% on Rotten Tomato. Fans gave it 7% though, so I'm a little skeptical of Rotten Tomatoes view. Anyways, this one's on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, I'd give it a watch. Let's just run through the usual cast members and whatnot. The writer in this one is Scott Teems, who did the screenwrite for the new Firestarter, which was decent. And he also helped write Halloween Kills, I guess, which is pretty decent, decent horror films he's done the screenwrite for. Anyways, let's continue on. The director in this is actually Patrick Wilson, so that's pretty cool. And we'll just kind of jump into the actors. Start with Patrick, who, as we know, he's in all the Insidious, or most of the Insidious movies, and he's in the Conjuring universe as Ed Warren. Most people know him from that, and he's been in a lot of other stuff. Moving on, we've got Ty Simpkins, who is Dalton, who's actually the same actor from all the other Insidious movies. He's the kid in the coma. So that's cool. I haven't really seen too much else he was in. Then we got Rose Byrne from Insidious. She's the wife, the mom in those films. She was also in The Turning. I don't remember her in that, but I haven't seen that in a little bit. But let's just dive into this. So you know, you have the usual vibes from the Insidious franchise. Good film work, effective scares, great use of darkness to kind of cause a little bit of dread to the viewer. But we're gonna kind of jump into this without giving you any spoilers. I'm gonna attempt to. Sorry if I spoil anything. It's not too much to spoil in this one. That you haven't seen it in the previews. If you watched the previews, I didn't. So basically, this is a little ways after the second Insidious, where Patrick Wilson goes nuts because he's got that ghost or entity. Well, is it ghost? It seems like, because I don't know. I'm the thing from the further. This creepy. He must be a ghost because he was human. So, anyways, I'll move on. So this takes place after that, like a few years. I want to say it might be like 9 years or something. And Patrick Wilson's mother died, and remember in the you should watch the first two Insidious movies if you want any of this to make sense. But I'm just gonna kind of give a preview, or not preview, but just kind of talk it out, I guess. Anyway, so Patrick and Dalton, the kid who was in the coma in the first film, don't really remember anything from astral projecting. Or anything about the further, who is what the place is called. It's kind of like a different dimension where these entities come from and can escape at some point. So both of them are they've kind of drifted apart from each other. Patrick Wilson and the son, and neither one of them can really grasp why. And so this one's a little bit more of a slow burn. Dalton's going to college, and so Patrick Wilson decides to, since he's been so distant, he wants to drive him to the new college. He takes him there, and they kind of have an argument, and he's like, well, so they just kind of leave on bad terms, and then like stuff starts happening with Dalton, since he's kind of pursuing an art degree. It appears he's kind of a sketch artist. He draws a lot of dark shit, and so he starts drawing stuff like from memories, and he draws the red door, or he draws a door, and then later on he gets his blood on it, which I think that kind of like opens a doorway, it seemed like. And from there, he starts like phasing in and out of the astral projection, and he's seeing stuff, and he's like just starting to slowly figure out, like, man, everything feels so feels like I've seen it before. And the same is kind of happening to Patrick Wilson, who now lives by himself, since Roseburn didn't want to be married to him anymore, because I think it just caused too much pain hiding that year of the past that really tore the family apart in essence. And so Patrick Wilson decides, I need to figure this out. He thinks he's got like a psychological disorder or a mental health crisis, whatever. And he keeps seeing stuff too. So basically, it's kind of like a back and forth game of Patrick Wilson and Dalton, Ty Simpkins, both like coming back into the further, pretty much, with the place that's calling to them, and entities want to reach out and take over their bodies, essentially, and just mess up the real world, from what I can tell, at least. And so you get, I mean, I don't want to say this is just your like typical Insidious movie, but it wasn't overwhelmingly terrifying, or I don't know, there wasn't like a huge like twist, or just like, oh wow, I can't believe that just happened, or wow, oh that tied in from the first one, or this one, or that one, or at least to my knowledge that I saw. I didn't see any like tie-ins, but I could be wrong also, because I wasn't paying a super huge amount of attention to like the details, like the very intricate details, so I could have missed something. But it's a good like nostalgic, if you're an Insidious fan, it's good nostalgia, and it's really cool that they got all the same actors to come back. So yeah, I'd give it a watch. I'd say this is probably my third favorite out of the Insidious series. But yeah, that's about all I've got for this one. Hope, again, as always, hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you subscribe. But yeah, otherwise, have a lovely time.